Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. It's Living on Purpose. What's
Yes,
up,
sir.
man?
How you doing today?
I'm good. I am good. I am good. Um, okay. I think we're having some internet challenges for some reason today.
I
Um,
made it through the
okay.
week.
Are we okay now?
We are officially in week 2 of this, sir.
Okay.
Excited to hear all that is going to take place on tonight. As we prepare for the weekend, we know that the weekend is coming. Um, Pretty sure that there are people who are doing shopping on their cyber shopping, I'd say, due to the pandemic. And so excited because in the midst of all that's going uh, in the midst of our shopping and in the midst of our preparing for this holiday season, uh, that we have this chance to hear from you, to hear what it is that God is giving you, what it is that you're giving to us to help us in our journey on living on purpose. Bishop, tell us about your day, sir.
Uh, all right. Hello.
So, Bishop, I'm going to tell you,
Man.
it's amazing. It must be something amazing that you have for us because, listen, technology only acts crazy, I've learned, when it's something that we need to get.
Man, it when I tell you it's crazy. It's crazy, man. I'm running around the house trying to find a spot today. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Uh, how you doing, man?
Bishop, I'm great. I have no complaints. I was just saying, as everybody's getting prepared and they're doing their cyber shock and preparing for this holiday, I think that it is so important. And let me start by saying this. There are 19 people on right now. Listen, if you would do us a favor, listen, let us know where it is that you're watching from. I think that's important. And then the second thing I would say to everybody watching, listen, please share this broadcast. Bishop, last week was so phenomenal. I watched as people went back and the numbers begin to grow. And I think that is in anticipation because the truth is, I've learned that just because we're coming to the end of the year, we still have time to accomplish the purpose and the goals that is
Absolutely.
on our hearts and our minds to do. And so, Bishop, would you release unto us tonight what it is that you're hearing that's going to help us propel even further as we begin to close out 2020? I'm excited because 2020 can't close until we do what it is we have been designed to do in tonight. You're going to release another step to help us do that. Bishop, I'm gonna stop so I keep talking. So take it here from you, sir.
Well, first of all, thank you, Ray. Ray is my co-host in this, and so I'm excited and grateful to God for the opportunity to be able to share with you guys. I'm having some strange internet issues tonight, which means that I'm going to have to press through and share what I'm hearing. So I'm glad. Thank all of you for coming on. I appreciate it. I see some people that I haven't seen before. Conyers, wow. Okay. Thank you from Ohio and North Carolina and Athens, Georgia. We thank you all for coming on. You are a part of now the Living on Purpose family with John Guns. I am so excited. Tonight, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about the value of relationships. So if you can just place in the thread, whether you're watching from YouTube or you're watching from Facebook Live, if you can just say, you can just put in the thread relationships, just hashtag relationships. I ran into a quote that I thought was really amazing. And the quote really, really spoke to me. And the quote says, it's actually two quotes that I ran into. The first quote says, each friend represents a world in us, a world possibly not born until they arrive. It is only by this meeting that a new world is born. Now, I need everybody to hear what I just read. Every person that enters your life actually becomes either seed or soil. And at the point that a relationship becomes seed or soil, that relationship actually becomes a part of determining what will be produced next in your life. Let me encourage you with something amazing. Most of the relationships in your life are either good for you or a relationship that's not good for you. Every relationship is either good for you or not good for you. And sometimes the ones that are not good for you are the ones that have the least amount of conflict. Okay, you'll catch it. Sometimes we say, oh man, this person is no stress. Well, they may be no stress because they bring no energy to your life. They just simply fill a void that you've allowed to exist only when, and you only need them when you need them. You don't need them because they're valuable. You need them because you're dealing with some level of insecurity in your life. But when someone is truly a relationship that has been ordained, that relationship will produce something from you that makes you extraordinary. This is what's amazing about relationships. What's amazing about relationships is that relationships actually are the meeting of two unique personalities. Each personality brings something to the other that stretches the other, causing them to become a birthing place in their own experience. At the point that a relationship becomes a birthing place, what happens is that now you begin to dream, but here's what's deep. The dream makes sense because the person in your life fits what's necessary for you to operate at your highest capacity. I've got a couple of relationships that I want to refer to tonight. The most obvious is my wife. Sanjanique Lee Guns is, for me, a valuable part of what makes me who I am in this season. Even the challenges of our relationship has produced a better me because they stretch me in ways that I will not and cannot even begin to explain. That relationship, actually, our wedding anniversary is tomorrow. Here's what's interesting. We actually have two wedding anniversaries. One, the actual wedding anniversary is tomorrow because we were married in a private ceremony by her pastor, a wonderful man who's gone to be with the Lord now, Pastor Bernard Cheney. Pastor Bernard Yates. Oh my God. I know he's looking down going, did you just say Cheney? Yates, an amazing man. And so at one level, my wife and I, 9 years together, she has been extraordinary. Here's why. Because I was an extremely wired guy. I could flip off in a minute and it was not always very good, right? Her entering my life made me start rethinking how I respond in tense moments. Sanjanique being in my life made me rethink how I respond. Here's why. Because her love was so significant until the change that was needed to make us better has made me better with everybody else. Did you catch what I just said? The change that was needed to make us better has made me better with everyone else. Here's what's amazing. God can put someone in your life who because of that one relationship makes you better for everybody else. That one relationship makes you make changes, and everybody else is the beneficiary of the change in your life. You need someone in your life who's big enough to make you make changes that makes everybody notice. Makes you make changes that makes everybody says, man, you're different. Wow, you have really grown, because this relationship stretches me to the point that it's made me better. But here's the second relationship. Now, I got a whole lot of them, but this last relationship you just saw, Ray Routson. Ray came into my life about 2 years ago, actually around this time 2 years ago. And literally, Ray has given me the capacity in this pandemic to achieve the things that I'm achieving. Even tonight, Ray is working on his master's degree from the best seminary in America, School of Theology, Virginia University, right? So he's supposed to be in class in a few minutes, but he's so committed to building out my vision until he's willing to do what needs to be done to help me achieve. Here's what I'm trying to get you to understand. You need a relationship that pushes you to be better, and you need one that helps you achieve dreams and vision. And they may be the same relationship, or they may be different relationships, or they may be a piece and part of relationships. But here's the value of relationships. If you're going to achieve anything extraordinary, you're going to have to build the kind of capacity through relationships that stretches you so you're not a prisoner to the narrow ways by which people who are not ordained for you often creates. I am always frustrated when someone claims to be my friend, but they spend more time competing with me instead of working with me and giving me space to work with them. At the end of the day, you must create then the kind of relationships that allows you to be successful. So let me suggest a couple of things, and then I'll close tonight, because living on purpose is not going to be very long every Friday. Just going to be me just kind of dropping some nuggets and then moving on. The power of relationships. Let me say three things then about relationships. First thing is that you must work on you so you are relationally attractive. You must work on you so that you are relationally attractive. And there are three areas in that you need to work on. The first, obviously, is content. You have to work on the content of your relationships. You have to work on the content of your conversation within your relationships. You got to work on the content. You can't immediately be negative in every moment. And you can't be someone who uses words to punish people. You must understand the power of your conversation. That's the first thing. Secondly, you must be willing to deal with body language. Body language is huge because for someone like me, I notice body language. I notice body language. I notice body language. My wife will tell you, I notice body language. Like right now, being on Zooms with people, I pick up body language. I can tell my service team ain't in the game today. Now, it makes me mad, I'll admit it, right? But I can just tell when people aren't in the game. Body language, there's a whole lot. Facial expressions. Listen, I tell people closest to me, you ain't got to say a word. All I got to do is just look in your eyes and tell where you are, right? Relationships, you must become relationally attractive, and you got to work on the content of your conversation. You got to work on body language. But here's the final thing, and here's the piece that people miss. You got to work on how you respond to moments. You got to work on how you respond to moments. That if there's a moment, and it doesn't always mean a tense moment, how do you respond when you're in a casual conversation? Where do you take the conversation? How do you respond? How good of a listener are you? How much attention do you give to your spouse, to your partner, to your friend? Do you ever spend time shutting down devices and focusing on this person to work through the plan of the relationship? That's key. You got to work on you. Content of conversation, body language, and how you respond to the people you're relating to in the moment. Do they feel that you're engaged in the moment? But here's the second thing that makes relationships huge for me. And this is why I love relationships. Humility is a non-negotiable to have effective relationships. Humility is a non-negotiable. And humility is amazing because humility basically pushes your friend, your spouse, your partner first. Paul talks about this. Let me see if I can't find it real quickly. Paul talks about this. And it's amazing. It's amazing how he shares this. Paul talks about this whole thing of pushing and pressing other people, pressing people in front of you, pressing people ahead of you. Let me see if I can't find it. I think it's in Philippians. Let me see. Right. You know what? It's in Ephesians. There it is. It's in Ephesians. Watch this. Watch this. I want to show you something really, really important because I think that one of the challenges for every one of us is learning how to interact with each other and recognizing that humility is so important for us to be successful. Listen to what it says in Ephesians chapter 4. It says in verse 1, I urge you then, prisoner of the, serve the Lord, live a life that measures up to the standard that God has set when he called you. Be humble, gentle, and patient. Show your love by being tolerant with one another. Do your best to preserve the unity which the Spirit gives by means of the peace that binds you together. Okay, this is not Bible study, but I want you to catch this. The Bible talks about humility as a non-negotiable trait. If you want to have healthy, effective relationships, you have to be someone who operates from humility. In in Philippians chapter 2, this is the verse I was looking for. Verse 3 says, don't do anything from selfish ambition or cheap desire to boast, but be humble toward one another. Watch this. Always considering the others better than yourself. What does this mean? Here's what it ultimately means. That healthy relationships do not exist. They cannot exist until there's humility. And humility is when I make your needs more important than my own. Is when I put you ahead of me. That's where relationships thrive. Because when two people are engaged in making the other better, then you create a healthier relationship. Here's the last thing, and this is huge, and then I'm done. Thank all of you for getting on tonight every Friday. Here it is. The relationships that matter most won't let you be lazy. The relationships that matter most won't let you be lazy. The relationships that matter most keep you accountable. Now, accountability is a tough word because oftentimes when we think about accountability, we think of people who are hard on us. We think of drill sergeants, but that's not what accountability is. You're not keeping me accountable just because you nag me about everything that I don't do and da da da. No. That's not accountability. Here's accountability. You know my passions, you know my dreams, and when I get lazy, you call me to accountability. You remind me of what I'm called to do. Something happened that none of you saw tonight, but I'm gonna say it. None of you saw it tonight. We were having major Wi-Fi issues, and Pastor G was trying to help me and all this kind of stuff. And so I finally found a room that I thought I could kind of finish this tonight. I was a little frustrated, but I was going to hang in, right? Because I was going to finish, right? Here's what happens. Pastor G runs and gets the light, the spotlight, the lighting. She sets it up, and then she goes and gets the piece that we use to elevate the computer for Zooms and for StreamYard. And here's what I saw. She was so concerned about how I looked till she was willing to engage herself in making sure that it would get that whatever the issues were would get addressed. Do the people in your life complicate your life by watching you struggle only so they can say, I told you so? Or do they get in the weeds with you and protect your dreams and your visions and call you to a higher level of accountability? Do they participate in what you're trying to achieve? Are they willing to be with you in the process? You need not only dreamers, you need hands. So I close with this tonight. If you're going to ever be the best you can be, if you're going to live on purpose, you're going to have to work through relationships. Vision that you can achieve is not a vision. It is a goal. And goals can be achieved with no help. But a vision for your life and the size of your purpose will always require someone else. So thank you all for watching tonight. Andre, I think your auntie tried to respond to your question. All right, we love you guys. Thank you so much, Ray. That's all I got tonight, man. That's all I got.
Bishop, all you have, that was amazing.
Oh man.
I think for us, what it's going to require is some of us, the gift that we need to give in this season, listening to you, is not a gift that you can buy. I think the gift for many of us that we need to give this year to people that we care about, and even some people that we may need to work things through, is the gift of, for some, I'm sorry, because of relationships that you hit on. And I think for others, some of the gifts that we need to give are gifts of affirming and letting them know they're not by yourself. This was powerful. Amazing, Bishop. Amazing. Listen, to everyone, you don't want to miss it. Tune in again next Friday. Bishop, this is getting phenomenal. Thank you so much, sir. I'm sorry to barge in at the end, but you're talking about relationships and I'm scratching my head. And I was like, man, I feel that. I feel that what you released tonight, literally, that's some work that we need to do. What I like to call root work, that we need to take this weekend and we need to value and take advantage of these relationships. And so thank you, sir. Sorry for coming in at the end. It's just,
no, man, that's what you're supposed to do.
I could not let this end without that. To everyone, Bishop, as we're closing, I'm going to get off the screen because they came to see you. Close us out, Bishop.
Well, listen, thank you all so much. And Ray hit it. Spend this weekend forgiving and affirming, and understand that the success that you want is tied to the person that's ordained to walk with you. The one thing I love about my life is that this pandemic has not been a time of loneliness. Even when I've had alone moments, I've still had the privilege of partners. Enjoy the journey and remember that you're living on purpose. My name is John Guns, and we'll see you next Friday. Take care.